We've been using the EW-DP wireless microphone system from Sennheiser in our studio for a while now, and today I'm going to tell you what's so good about it. So we've been using the Sennheiser EW-DP for a while now, ever since its release actually, and today we thought we'd give you an insight into why it's so good, how easy it is to set up, and how it can save you a lot of time on the day of shooting your audio and video. So the EW-DP comes in 4 different variations, and the one that we use, which is most suited for our needs, is the ME2, and this one just has the lav mic and the receiver. So there are 2 different ways that we use this particular mic setup. One is as an on-camera unit, and the other is in conjunction with our audio interface. And this really depends on what we're shooting on what day and how many audio inputs we need. So the first thing I want to talk about is how you can actually mount the unit to your camera. Now the EW-DP comes with this really awesome little plate, which has a cold shoe mount on the back, or you also have screws which you can screw onto your camera cage. And the one little secret which is quite exciting about this plate is the way the receiver mounts onto it. It's actually with magnets which pop on real nicely and just click on, and that's really not going anywhere. This also means if you've got a camera with 2 audio inputs, you can actually stack 2 receivers on top of each other, which makes recording an interview easier than ever. And this is going to be really good for filmmakers that are running and gunning and want that really quick setup. And the size of this unit being so small is also super helpful. So when we're recording in the studio like we are today, we normally have at least 2 channels of dialogue, and the way we have our setup is we have the receivers in our control room connected to our audio interface with Pro Tools, which gives us maximum flexibility. This means that our audio engineer can get the audio directly from source and mix extremely quickly because we have a very high turnover in the studio. And because our studio does have such a high turnover when it comes to audio and video, setup, especially quick setup, is very important to us. Now, I haven't experienced setup so quick as I have done with something like the EW-DP. It really is as easy as switching on the auto scan function so it can find the correct frequency which you can use, and then pressing sync on both devices, and they find each other almost immediately. One thing we find really useful when outside of the studio using the EW-DP is the Smart Assist app, and this basically allows us to have automated setup and be able to visualize our monitoring when we're out and about, which is great. Not just having the monitoring on the screen on your camera, but also being able to see that on a smartphone or a tablet. It's really useful. So one of the most important things to think about with wireless microphones or wireless microphone receivers is the range. And there's only really one way to test that out. So why don't you come with me? Let's go. So I'm just gonna quickly walk out the studio and you can see me now. I'm just gonna grab my high-vis and we're gonna go for a little walk. Most wireless microphone sort of sets at this price point would normally use 2.4 gigahertz, and this is basically Wi-Fi frequencies. And sometimes in areas like this where we have a lot of Wi-Fi frequencies, you can get dropouts. Now, the Sennheiser EW-DP doesn't use 2.4 gigahertz. It actually uses UHF, which is known to be far more reliable than 2.4 gigahertz. And one really important thing about UHF is it's known to travel better through solid objects. So if you're walking in between walls like we are now, or if you're in a crowded space, UHF generally is always going to perform much better. And as you can see, we still have signal even now, walking through breeze block walls, through a warehouse which has lots of Wi-Fi signals, and being a little bit out of breath walking all this way. Now let's head back to the studio. Whew. Right then, guys, I'm back. And one of the things I want to talk about with the EW-DP is a really cool feature. We actually have 134 decibels of dynamic range with the EW-DP, which means you could hear me then completely distortion-free while I was playing the drums. This is an industry-leading feature. It means that when you're recording anywhere, You won't get any distortion at all. So as you can see, we really do think at the Gear4music Studio that the Sennheiser EW-DP is the perfect audio partner for a working video studio. And I think, this can be summarized in 4 key features. You've got the dynamic range of the product, which is great for loud and different audio environments. We have the UHF frequency, which is used, which means we have a further range when using the microphone. We have the ease of use and how easy the product is to set up. And finally, we have its size and how compatible it is with cameras. If you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give us a like and subscribe. And if you want to see more behind the scenes stuff and learn more about the gear that we use in the Gear4music Studio, please do leave a comment below. I've been Theo with Gear4music. Have a great day. Bye.